look at the alternative we are forsaking. The alternative is a truly open-ended, unconstrained discourse about the human experience. I mean, the fact is, people have spiritual experiences. I mean, you've used this word transcendent a lot. Who knows what that means? Well, the reality is, it is possible for a person to close their eyes and use their attention in a certain way, such that they no longer feel separate from the universe, say. You know, they felt it was just me a moment ago, and then all of a sudden there's just the world. Okay? That is an experience that is replicable, that we can all have, that many of us, I'm sure, have had. Most people, most of the time, have had these experiences in the context of a religious tradition, and they have interpreted them by the light of their religious tradition. The problem with this process is that it is not, in the scientific spirit, encouraging of rigorous honesty. It is encouraging of dogmatism and metaphysical speculation, and yes, there are diamonds in the dunghill of religion. I mean, you know, Rumi and Meister Eckhart are attesting to a kind of experience that I think we should all be desperate to have. The problem is we need to talk about it honestly, and I think the first thing you can notice about this is if a Christian is having a glorious experience of self-transcendence, and a Buddhist is having a glorious experience of self-transcendence. One thing you know for certain, the best interpretation of that data can't be that Jesus is the Son of God put here on earth to redeem our sins. I mean, it does not authenticate what the Christian thinks it's authenticating. It doesn't authenticate what the Buddhist thinks it's authenticating. We no longer have a right to our religious provincialism. We just have to talk straight.
But it does authenticate the experience itself.
Absolutely.
And regardless of...
The issue is that there's no reason for us to have this denominational language. If we are in the business of simply describing transcendent experience, how we have them, what they're like, what is reasonable to conclude on their basis, neurochemistry is a part of that, but I agree with you, it does not subsume the whole conversation. If we are in that business, there is no room for a Buddhist version of it, a Christian version of it, in the same way that there's no room for Christian physics. I mean, the Christians invented physics, but physics, because it was a real domain of inquiry, floated free of its Christian roots. There's no such thing as American science versus Japanese science. I mean, science is science because it is the one mode of discourse where we are rigorously honest with ourselves. Everyone is in the business of proving everyone else wrong. You can actually win points for proving yourself wrong in science. This doesn't happen in religion, and it should. And if it did, it would have a winnowing effect that would be catastrophic for the religious enterprise, and then we would be left with mystical scientists.